Jonathan Pierce returned home earlier than expected that day. As a wealthy businessman, his life was structured, predictable, until now. The moment he stepped inside his grand, sterile mansion, he noticed something unusual. An earthy, sweet aroma lingered in the air, completely out of place in his meticulously cleaned home. As he made his way through the garden, Jonathan froze. His frail daughter, Emma, sat on the grass, smiling for the first time in months. Beside her was Leo Carter, a barefoot boy in ragged clothes, feeding her something from a steaming bowl. Alarmed, Jonathan stormed over, his voice sharp and commanding as he demanded answers from the boy. "Before we continue, please let us know where you're listening to our stories from." Leo, visibly shaken and trembling, dropped the spoon he was holding. His small frame seemed even smaller as he took a hesitant step back, glancing nervously between Jonathan and Emma. Desperate to explain himself, Leo stammered that he only wanted to help. He spoke softly but earnestly, explaining that the food he brought came from his grandmother, Agnes Carter, a respected healer known in their nearby impoverished community for using natural remedies. Leo's eyes were filled with sincerity and a quiet desperation, revealing that his only intention was to bring comfort and nourishment to Emma, whose frail appearance clearly pained him to witness. Jonathan, caught between anger and confusion, struggled to process the surreal moment unfolding before him. Jonathan was furious but torn. Emma's joy and life-filled eyes left him speechless. Against his instincts, he allowed Leo to continue, though not without imposing strict supervision and maintaining constant vigilance. Jonathan's mind raced with doubts and anxieties. He set firm rules. Every ingredient would be documented, every meal would be tasted first, and nothing would be left to chance. Despite his reservations, something deep inside him, perhaps desperation or the flicker of hope he saw in Emma's eyes, urged him to take this leap of faith. He watched closely as Leo prepared each dish, noting the boy's gentle care and genuine dedication. Though his heart was conflicted, Jonathan couldn't deny that Emma's fragile spirit seemed to be slowly awakening, and that was reason enough to continue. Days turned into weeks. Emma responded miraculously to the herbal meals, showing small yet significant signs of improvement each passing day. Her once pale cheeks regained a faint blush, her fragile laughter echoed softly through the grand halls, and she even began sitting up on her own for brief moments, things she hadn't done for months. Jonathan, though deeply skeptical, remained committed to overseeing every detail. He insisted on carefully monitoring everything, from the exact ingredients Leo used to the preparation temperatures and Emma's immediate reactions after every meal. The mansion, once silent and lifeless, now hummed with a tentative hope. The tension between science and nature grew stronger within Jonathan as his pragmatic mind wrestled with what he saw. Yet results spoke louder than his doubts. The inexplicable progress unfolding before his eyes left him questioning everything he once believed. Leo and Agnes became regulars in the Pierce household. The mansion, once cold and quiet, started to feel alive. Even Jonathan couldn't deny it. Emma began sitting up, laughing, and even playing small games. Slowly, an unlikely friendship blossomed between the boy, the healer, and the skeptical father. But just as hope bloomed, Rachel Pierce, Jonathan's ex-wife and Emma's protective mother, arrived unannounced. Rachel was horrified to learn about the alternative methods. A fierce argument erupted. She threatened legal action immediately, her face twisted with fury and determination, making it crystal clear she would stop at nothing to gain full custody of Emma. Her words cut through the peaceful air like a blade, filled with accusations that Jonathan was being reckless and irresponsible. Jonathan, however, knew deep down that this fight would not be simple or short-lived. The bond growing between Emma and the natural remedies clashed sharply with society's rigid belief in conventional medicine. He realized the harsh truth. In the eyes of the world, he was not seen as a loving father trying to save his daughter, but as a desperate man clinging to unscientific and dangerous folk remedies. Despite this, Jonathan braced himself for the storm ahead, fully aware that defending his choices might cost him everything. As the legal storm gathered, something unexpected happened. A simple video, filmed by Leo with a shaky but heartfelt touch, and later shared by market girl Hannah Miles, unexpectedly went viral. In the clip, Emma could be seen walking slowly but determinedly through the vibrant garden, her face lit up with a radiant and genuine smile that had been absent for far too long. She was no longer just Jonathan's fragile daughter hidden away from the world. She had become a symbol of resilience and rebirth. The video captured not only her steps but also the sounds of laughter, the chirping birds, and Leo's gentle encouragement in the background, creating an emotional resonance that touched hearts globally. The world saw Emma walking in the garden, smiling, alive, hopeful, and brimming with the promise of new beginnings. Support and criticism flooded in. The story divided opinions across the globe. With the media frenzy intensifying, Jonathan strengthened his resolve. He knew he wasn't just fighting Rachel anymore. He was fighting society's expectations. Disaster struck when Emma suddenly fell ill. Fever, seizures, and rapid decline forced Jonathan to rush her to the hospital. For days she hovered between life and death, caught in a cruel limbo where every moment felt like an eternity. Her fragile body was pale and still, her once lively spirit seemingly fading with each passing hour. Hope flickered weakly, but he could not let go. Not yet. Rachel capitalized on the crisis, launching a brutal custody battle. Jonathan, broken and guilt-ridden, began questioning everything. Had he made a terrible mistake? At Emma's bedside, Jonathan faced his greatest test. But a visit from Leo and Agnes reignited his belief. They brought a miniature version of the garden, a simple yet lovingly crafted box filled with carefully selected herbs and a delicate tiny flower placed at its center. The herbs carried the familiar soothing fragrance of home and care, evoking memories of laughter and gentle afternoons spent among the blossoming plants. Leo, with his innocent yet earnest voice, explained that this tiny garden was meant to bring the spirit of hope and life directly to Emma's bedside, even if the real garden was far away. Agnes added softly that faith does not roar or demand attention. Instead, it grows slowly and quietly, just like the flower that now stood as a silent sentinel by Emma's side. In that moment, Jonathan felt something shift deep within him, as if the walls of fear and doubt he had built around his heart had begun to gently crumble. Emma, in her weak state, whispered, "Papa, garden." That fragile word restored Jonathan's strength. Against all odds, Emma recovered. Step by step, she regained her strength. With guidance from physiotherapist Alex Moreno and support from Leo and Agnes, she took her first unassisted steps. Rachel, seeing the undeniable progress, softened at last, though it took time for her rigid skepticism to ease. Witnessing Emma's transformation firsthand, the sparkle returning to her daughter's eyes, the renewed energy in her delicate steps, stirred something deep within Rachel's heart. She couldn't deny that Emma's condition had vastly improved in ways no modern medicine had managed before. Still wary and cautious, she eventually agreed, after much discussion, to let Jonathan continue the unconventional treatments, but only under strict medical supervision to ensure Emma's safety. Legal documents were drafted with careful wording to allow this fragile agreement. The custody battle, once raging with threats and ultimatums, quietly came to an end, not with a clear victor, but with a hard-earned mutual understanding. Both parents now recognized they shared the same goal, Emma's happiness and recovery, no matter the path that led there. Jonathan had won something deeper than legal custody. He had reclaimed his daughter's spirit. Inspired by Emma's transformation, Jonathan launched Sinu Seed Project, combining traditional wisdom with modern science to create natural healing foods. Leo, Agnes, and Emma became its heart and soul. The mansion's secret garden became public. Families from all walks of life visited, seeking hope. Jonathan had finally bridged two worlds, cold logic and tender faith. The story culminated on a golden evening when Emma, Leo, and Agnes planted a new flower in the garden. They placed a small sign beside it. Earjoy was born. Jonathan knew then, with profound clarity, that victory wasn't about winning lawsuits, earning accolades, or gaining fleeting fame. True victory, he realized, was found in the quiet, steadfast nurturing of love, faith, and life, especially in the darkest and most uncertain times. As the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting the garden in warm, Jonathan felt an overwhelming surge of gratitude. Turning to Emma, his heart full, he whispered with emotion, "You did it, my love, and so did we all." Together, in that sacred garden, where love bloomed alongside each delicate flower, they stood united. A family reborn in a garden where hope had never ceased to grow, and where dreams, once fragile, now stretched confidently toward the endless sky. What do you think of Leo and Emma's journey? Do you believe in traditional medicines and healings? Although modern medicine is inevitable when emergencies require it, but when some diseases go untouched by pills and medicines, do you think traditional healing should still be accepted? Please share your honest thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for listening to Storyline Narratives.